This is the video that I wish I had before I joined the military. If you're anything like me, you've probably watched countless videos like this to try to figure out if you're making the right decision, or you're just trying to prepare yourself for what to expect. When I watched those videos, they were super biased. Join the military is the best decision ever. Or,
you shouldn't join because the military sucks, it's horrible.
Whatever. Look, this is not to persuade you guys into making the decision or not. It's more of a guidebook to try to help you make this decision on your own. Because joining the military is one of the biggest decisions that you're gonna make in your life, but you should kind of know what you're getting into at the same time. There was one question that I asked myself, and it eventually led to me joining the Marine Corps. I'm gonna post that question in this video later on, and you can skip to it right now if you want, but I suggest you watch the whole video. So tuck those nuts back in your sweatpants, and let's do this thing. We're gonna start with the cons first. If you can get through the cons of this video and you're still like, okay, I'm good with that, I wanna keep going, good for you, bro. It may not help you make that decision completely, but it should give you at least a little bit more confidence that you know what you're getting into and you can prepare yourself for that. Starting with lifestyle. You've probably heard this 1,000 times. You're not gonna be able to do what you wanna do. People are gonna tell you where to go and what to do and all this. Look, I didn't take any of that seriously. My grandfather, before I joined, sat me down and he said those exact words. And I was like, okay, yeah, I could deal with that. I didn't really understand to what extent he was talking about until I was in, and then it was too late.
You will do what you're told to do, when you're told to do it, and without question. Do you understand?
To put this in perspective, I got out of the Marine Corps 10 years ago. To this day, I still have to remind myself, wait, if I'm sick, I don't have to go into work. If I don't feel good, I don't have to do that. If I don't want to do that, I won't do that. But I had to get that out of my brain because you do not have that luxury in the military. If they say you're gonna be at PT at 4 a.m., you're gonna be there at 3:45 in the morning, standing green on green, ready to go. I don't care if you woke up and you shit all over the place. You're covered in piss, shit, vomit, and you're sick as hell. You're gonna be there at 3:45. And if you think that you're gonna call out sick or you're gonna go to the doctor and they're gonna give you some type of shit that says, hey, you can be on light duty, bullshit. You will be there at 3:45 covered in shit, piss, blood, sweat, tears. I don't care what it is. You will be there or people will show up and they will find you.
I will find you.
That is how the military works, especially the Marine Corps. For me, it got so bad to the point, even after I got out, my lady had to sit down with me and she's like, you broke your arm. Why didn't you went to the doctor for that? Why didn't you tell him like that you're in a lot of pain? I'm like, because I'm good. You're almost like fearful to say that something is wrong. And you know that if you do say that something is wrong, you're gonna be ridiculed, destroyed. You're gonna get a lot of people angry. If you're like, hey, I broke my leg and I can't move it, that's not gonna fly. There is zero sympathy. They do not care. Mission accomplishment over troop welfare. You're gonna hear that a lot. Get used to it. When I was in boot camp and I remember being so sick, I was throwing up and the drill instructor kind of looked at me and he's like,
Oh shit, you're sick, bitch.
and he took my cover off, and which is your hat. He took my cover off, held it underneath me, so I was like throwing up into my cover, and then made me eat it. You don't have sympathy. If you're sick, you deal with it. If you're miserable, you deal with it. And this is another term you're gonna hear. Trust me, come back and watch this video if you do join. Tell me you didn't hear this phrase, suffer in silence. You hear that a lot. That is what we are trained to do. That is what you are going to do. That lifestyle change and making these decisions, out the window. If you are a very independent person and you like doing things the way that you want to do them and you're rigid, it is going to be a massive lifestyle change. If you're already in a household where people are telling you what to do and you already don't really have a lot of control over your life, it may not be as bad. But some, more than others, are gonna really struggle in adapting to being told what to do. I'm telling you right now, if you do something wrong, you can't say, oh, I did it because of this. They don't hear that shit. They do not take any feedback. If you drop something and it breaks and you're like, oh, it was slippery, they're not gonna hear an excuse. They're not gonna give you a chance to make that excuse. They're gonna see whatever that mistake is, they're gonna call it out and you're gonna be destroyed for it. I don't care what your reasoning is. No recruit in boot camp is gonna be like, well, this recruit tried his hardest and fuck that. Fuck that. You're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get sympathy. You're not gonna be able to respond and provide feedback of why something happened. You just deal with it. You suck it up, you move on, you get yelled at, you get destroyed, and you get a lot of people angry at you, just the way it is. You will be where they tell you to be at the time that they tell you to get there, and you're gonna get there 15 minutes prior to what they told you, no matter what. Don't really care. And of course, we all know the obvious, right? Like deployments. You can get deployed, you can go overseas, but it goes down further than that. Those are the big ones. That's what most people cover. They're like, oh, you can go to North Carolina even if you live in California and you won't see your family. That's small compared to like, well, more macro scale, yes, but that is a possibility. They will pick you up and move you wherever they want you, whenever they want you, because it's needs of the Marine Corps or needs of the military over all else. So the smaller things that I'm referring to is you can have a great room, you love your roommate, it's in a perfect spot. They can come into your room at 2 in the morning and they're like, hey man, pack your shit up, you're moving to the barracks next door. Okay, you just do it. And that sucks because you're gonna move around a lot and you need to adapt to new environments. Just the way it is. You've really gotta put that into the back of your mind of releasing and letting go of whatever types of values you had on independence and throw that shit away because you kind of lose that. You almost, I'm not going to say you lose your sense of self, but you definitely lose your sense of I don't want to say independence again, but it's like you just lose the ability to make decisions for yourself. That does suck. At the end of the day, it sucks, man. No matter what, people might be like, oh, I don't really care. It's not a big deal, but yeah, it sucks, dude. I've seen a lot of dudes crying in their rooms. Even in boot camp, bro, I heard people crying. It is what it is. So moving on, there are definitely, some pros and cons that bleed over, which is this part here. People. You're gonna go into the military thinking, like I did, dude, I'm gonna meet the coolest people ever. It's gonna be the greatest thing. I'm gonna forge all these bonds and these like brotherhood. Dude, you're gonna meet some assholes, okay? You are gonna meet thieves, crooks. You're gonna meet some really fucking bad people. I'm telling you right now, it is a melting pot. You're gonna meet people from all across the world, all across the nations, different backgrounds, whatever it is, you're gonna meet them and you're gonna have to deal with them. You cannot go home at the end of the day and be like, I'm getting away from this dude, he's a dick. He might be your roommate and you're stuck with him. Or he might be in charge of you. There's a lot of people that I ran into in my time that I'm like, damn, I can't stand this dude. Like, I want to fight this dude. Like, I want to whoop this dude's ass right now. But I can't. I just have to deal with it. You might have that coworker or that person in your class or wherever phase or point you are in your life. You might have that one person that you're like, man, I hate that motherfucker right there. That big-headed, goofy-ass looking dude, I don't like his ass. Guess what? Deal with it. You're not going home to get away from him. You're not getting a break. You might be stuck in a hole with this fucking limp dick motherfucker that's treating you like shit every single minute on the minute or on the fucking hour, whatever the hell that expression is, and you got to deal with it, man. That sucks balls, okay? Especially when they're in charge of you. You're not gonna meet all this massive group of friends. You're going to, but it comes with the price. I thought this shit 100%. I was optimistic as hell. I sat down and I told my grandfather, I said, I'm joining the Marine Corps. Marines never lie, cheat, or steal. Hell the fuck yes, they do. They will steal your shit. You know how many people I walked around the barracks? I'm like, bro, that's my shirt. And he's like, oh, what the no, it's not. And I'm like, yes, it is, bro. It has my name on it in my last 4. You fucking kidding me? Bro, people will steal your shit. People will treat you like shit. People do anything to destroy you, and you gotta just learn to adapt to it, right? I'll give you another example. Here's a fun story. The good thing is, before I joined the Marine Corps, I was a martial arts instructor. So I taught Taekwondo, Hapkido, I did a lot of Wushu, I did Judo, and I just generally enjoyed fighting. It was my passion. I spent my entire day from the moment I woke up until the moment I went to sleep, training, fighting, eating, training, fighting, eating, shitting, of course, and that's it. When I got in, I never told anybody this. I just kept to myself. You wanna stay under the radar. My room cracks open. Boom, it's like 3 in the morning. A bunch of drunk ass people come in my room, drunk as fuck, and they're like, get up, motherfucker, get up, new guy, get up, faggot. And I'm like, hey man, just trying to sleep, bro. And the dude took a whole thing of beer and just poured it all over my face. I don't know what it was, but that was it for me. So I remember getting up and like choking this dude. And I remember just kind of, oh shit. I remember like kind of getting up, got him to the ground real quick and just was choking him. He tapped out. And all the other guys that were standing there were like, oh shit, what type of fucking karate, kung fu shit is that? You know, but I mean, they became my best friends later on. It just, you're gonna run into that type of thing. And you need to be able to handle yourself in those situations. I'm not saying people are gonna come in and assault you, beat you up, do whatever, but they are going to kind of push your like buttons a lot. And you're gonna see it. That was not the first time, or that was not the last time that happened. That was just kind of my first experience in. So you're gonna run into this a lot. So one thing you're gonna deal with is people. If you're not a people person, you will be. You're gonna have to. Nature of the beast. You can't be in your shell all the time. You're gonna be around people. You're gonna have to work with people and deal with people that you don't like. Let's get on to the next one. Pay. I know. People hear military and they're like, oh dude, they got the best benefits. Yeah, We'll talk about that. But for the most part, your pay is dog shit. It is horrible. If you were to break down your pay scale when you get into the military, per hour, the average amount, and fact check me, I don't remember the exacts, but somebody said that it's the equivalent of making less than 25 cents an hour. But why is this? It's because you work 24/7. And I don't mean you're out every single hour on your day or whatever, but they always say if you're in the military, it's almost like being on salary. They can call you up and tell you where to go, what to do, who to be there with. They'll tell you anything at any time of the day. You might be in a field environment where you're training from 4 in the morning until 8, 9 o'clock at night. You sleep, do it again. You're getting the same paycheck that you're getting at the end of the month, regardless of if you had 16, 18-hour days. And there is a 24-hour duty in the military, at least in the Marine Corps. I'm speaking mainly Marine Corps because that's what I know, but there's a 24-hour duty that everybody is assigned to, and it rotates. And you're gonna get this assignment where you are, in barracks duty for 24 hours straight. Does it happen? Yes. And guess what? Your paycheck looks the exact same. It's dog shit. You don't have to pay for certain things. Obviously, you're not paying for rent. You're not paying for like food, depending on, the situation, but you're not really benefiting by working more. You're getting the same pay. At your current job, if you're working your job, you're like, you know what? I need some extra cash. I'm gonna work overtime. What does that shit mean in the Marine Corps? There is no overtime, bro. 24 hours is a standard day. So yeah, the pay sucks balls, bro. I'm telling you right now, don't think it's good. Don't think you're gonna get in there and you're like, I'm gonna save money. I'm not spending money, bro. You're not gonna get paid anyway, at least until you make it up the ranks. This is where another con lies. What people do not know about the military is you're not guaranteed shit. I don't care if you're the biggest, fastest, strongest, most hung motherfucker that's ever lived on this earth. Guess what, bro? You might get out as a Lance Corporal, not even make it to NCO just because they don't have room. The military has a certain rank structure, and this is across all branches. They all have rank structures. In that rank structure, per your MOS, so in your job, based on how many people are in that MOS, they say, we need 100 corporals. Well, what happens if they have 100 corporals and those 100 corporals are staying in for the next 3 years? Nobody's picking up corporal until they get promoted or they leave or get demoted, whatever happens. And it's called a cutting cycle. You do the best you can to get the highest scores so that if that position opens up, they will take the highest scored individual and move them into that bracket. For an example, let's just say the rating scale is out of 2,000 points. 2,000 is the highest that you can get. There's 100 corporals in the Marine Corps right now. They don't need another one. You have a 1,999 cutting score. You are almost at the top. That opening comes up, right? So a corporal leaves, something happens, whatever. We need one corporal. Promotion is coming up in a couple months, and they look at these cutting scores. Well, guess what? There was a dude in front of you that had a 2,000 cutting score. He's getting corporal, you're not. Tough shit. Until something happens, you're stuck. And that means that your pay is stuck and your responsibilities for the most part are stuck. So you're not making bank. I'm telling you right, not the way it is. It's not meant to make you rich. And I get it. A lot of people will say, I'm not joining for the military or join the military for the pay or the benefits, whatever. Bro, at the end of the day, that shit does suck knowing that you're taking home like $400 and you just worked more than you've ever done in your entire life. And you are over here doing overnight stock at a grocery store, making double that amount of money with half the effort, and you're able to drive home and have fun, things and really enjoy yourself when you want to. And they're not going to call you up at 3 in the morning and say, hey, Boots and Utes, motherfucker, meet us outside. We're going on a 6-mile run because it's negative 13 degrees and we're trying to see if we can make your fucking nuts fall off. And if somebody complains about it, we're going to do it again every day for the next 3 months until everybody shuts the fuck up. That is the Marine Corps. Welcome to it. Here we go. It ain't gonna change. Just to put this whole thing in perspective, I think it was a gunny at the time. That's what it was. We got destroyed for, 3 months straight. It was every day, like uniform inspections, running, forming it up in front of the barracks. And when I say forming it up, all it means is you go outside and stand in a big ass group in a very structured way for hours on end until somebody shows up to tell you, otherwise. He was like, look, man, we make your life extra miserable for a long period of time. And then we just gradually let it return back to what it was before we started making it miserable. This way you feel great. You're like, damn, the Marine Corps is the best. I don't have to do uniform inspections every day. I'm loving life. You weren't doing that before, but because your life became so fucking miserable, it feels good. Getting into the last section. I want to keep the pros and cons very similar in terms of length and stuff, but I'll do my best. Comfortability. You are going to be uncomfortable 24/7. And when I say uncomfortable, I don't mean on a typical sense. Like, oh, you know, I'm standing around, it sucks, my knees hurt. No, it is a whole nother level way beyond comfortability that you think of right now. You will relish and you will enjoy and you will love 2 minutes of your life if you can sit down and change your socks. That is the greatest feeling in the world, at least in the Marine Corps, because you will get up, you don't have barely any food. They're like, hey, we're gonna do like this pack run, we're gonna go somewhere, and you end up like marching up into the fucking mountains for, I don't know, like from when the sun is still down until it's going down again. Like you will be there the whole fucking day. And about, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours into this hike, they're like, hey, everybody, we're gonna stop and we're gonna take off our shoes, you're gonna change your socks, you can eat like an orange or some shit, and then we're going right back. You got 2 minutes, do it now. That is the greatest feeling ever because you can finally take this pack off. The packs are digging into your skin. They're 100, you know, in what, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, something like that. They're digging into your skin. The sling of your rifle is against your neck and every step is just scraping the shit out of you. The rifle is banging you in the knees. The people in front of you are slowing down. Their packs are bumping into your face, smashing into your rifle. I've seen some people get their rifle like smashed into their face. People don't secure their shit properly. Maybe you didn't pack your bag correctly and it's uneven, and the entire time that weight is shifting on your body. Your shoulders hurt, your back hurts, your hips hurt, your legs hurt, and there's nothing you could do about it because you got to keep moving. It's hot as fuck. Nobody else is outside, only the Marines, because they just want to make shit miserable for you. So you're marching for hours and hours on end. It starts to rain. Guess what? You're not going in. Now you're just walking through a bunch more shit that you don't want to be in. And usually, for some reason, the rain is not refreshing at all. It's like ice fucking cold. It doesn't feel good. Then it just gets soggy, nasty, miserable, hot, wet, humid, and then it smells like pure shit for some reason because everywhere we train is dog shit. This is just nature of the beast. That's one thing. That's a small part. When you go to stand outside in formation, more than likely 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week, whatever it is, it could be the worst day of the year. And you're outside standing there like this. And you're just waiting. You might be like talking to somebody or whatever. You're standing outside for 4, 5, 6 hours. It doesn't matter. You can stand out there all freaking day. You're waiting for one dude to show up. He comes out and he's like, hey, no word to pass. You guys can go back. Okay. You're gonna do this a lot, trust me. Come back and watch this video. Especially if you join the Marine Corps, come back to me 3 months from now, 4 months, 5 months, I don't care what it is. Come back and tell me I'm wrong. Or if there's any Marines in here, tell me that I'm lying about some shit. They all know and they'll tell you this shit sucks balls, okay? You are going to learn to be uncomfortable. To put it in perspective, when I got out, I had to learn to be comfortable. Like I'm not even playing, man. Like I had to really think about it and be like, man, if it's hot, I can wear short sleeves. I can go outside and like wear what I want to wear to try to be a little more comfortable. Oh, damn, it's hot as hell. I'm gonna turn on the AC. Oh, it's cold. I'm gonna turn on the heat. You don't have that option, especially if you're in the barracks, bro. They turn the AC on in the winter and they turn the heat on in the summer. I don't know why. Well, probably just to piss us off. I don't know. We got to the point where we were like climbing up into our room and blocking the vents because heat was blasting and it was already like 100 degrees in the room. You just learn to deal with this shit. It is what it is. You will learn to be uncomfortable. Okay, now let's get into the pros. The pros are very unique. I'm trying to keep this video very unbiased, so I'm gonna try to keep the pros and the cons at least as close to possible as I can. There might be one longer than the other, but they don't hold any more weight, okay? I'm just explaining one a little bit more in depth. Let's get into the pros. The experience. So this kind of goes with lifestyle. So that con that we talked about was lifestyle and that change. But at the same time, it's the experience. My recruiter was like, dude, I got blown up 6 times in Iraq and I had all this crazy shit and I shot this dude in the fucking head. I split his shit. And I'm like, damn, dude, I want that story. And he's like, you can't, bro. Every story is different. Every single one of us, you can go into the Marine Corps, you can go into the military, whatever. You can go in and your story is going to be vastly different from anybody else's because it's your story, your upbringing, the way that you perceive things, even an event. Me and you, we could watch the same thing happen right now. I can have 50 people watch this video. 40 of them are going to be like, that video was dog shit, I hated it. And 10 are gonna be like, dude, that was actually kind of cool. I learned something. It's perspective, right? You're gonna have that same exact perspective when you go in. It's how you view things. It's where you go. It's what your job is. It's who's in at the time. It's all going to be your story. It's going to be your experience. And it's gonna be an experience that you cannot get elsewhere. You cannot get the experience of the military. I don't care how you wanna simulate it, whatever you wanna do, you cannot replicate that experience of being in. Even people that go reserve have always said like, damn man, I wonder what it would like to, or what it would be like to be active duty and like have that experience. You cannot replicate it, you cannot duplicate it, you cannot simulate it, whatever it is, you're going to get an experience that you're gonna have for the whole rest of your life. It could be a good experience or it could be a bad one, but it's going to be very unique. A lot of people that do not join have said like, damn, I kind of wish I wanted to go in to see what it's like. You're gonna know, you're gonna see what it's like. You're gonna know what it's like and it's gonna change you. You know, you are getting this experience that, yeah, maybe the pay's not good, whatever, but it's very personal. You're gonna have this for the entire rest of your life. It's gonna open up doors and it's gonna shape things when you get out, and it's gonna change who you are as a person, for good, for bad, whatever. It's gonna have some type of effect on you. It's going to change you and it's going to really open your eyes to the world, and it's gonna give you a new lens. A lot of people like myself, I grew up in like this like northern VA area just outside of like Southeast DC. It was ghetto as hell. It was all Section 8 housing. I don't know what I got shot at more, before I joined the Marine Corps or after I got into it. But that's my experience, and that's all I knew was this really inner city shit. When I joined the Marine Corps, I was with people from like Alabama. I was with people from Alabama, California, the Midwest, like everywhere, every walk of life, rich, poor, in between. It didn't matter. Single parent, no parent, foster parent, step, it doesn't matter. Bro, it's all like this melting pot of people. You are going to meet some of the coolest fucking people ever. Okay, yes, there's some bad, whatever. You're gonna meet some cool people, and you're gonna form some of the strongest bonds that you've ever had in your entire life. Why? Because you're all going through the shit together, and the shit sucks. Nature of the beast. When you go through something together as a team, you are going to grow a stronger bond. They always say the strongest friendships are forged through the worst of times, or the most trying of times. I don't know what the fucking quote is. I'm gonna butcher it. It's not the point. Look, you're gonna go through some shit together with people that are next to you that have gone through that same shit. Why do you think these guys that get out of the military 20 years later, they see the medic that like saved their life, or the guy that they were fighting beside, and they're like breaking down in tears talking to him? It's that bond, it's that relationship that you're not ever going to have outside of the military. I mean, you can. There's definitely extremes. This is not a definite. So if you hear me talking in absolutes, I gotta stop doing it. But it's definitely more likely that you're gonna have that relationship or that bond with that person in the military, because you're all going through it together. You will meet really cool people. You're gonna do cool ass things. For me, the biggest thing that I really miss is kind of like the barracks life, right? It's like being in college a little bit. Yeah, it sucks. But at the same time, I could wake up at 3 in the morning, go to my buddy's room. I'm like, all right, fucker, let's go to Walmart or some shit. Okay. And he's like, all right, cool. I got nothing to do. And he just gets up and goes. It's like having like brothers around you 24/7. You always have support. I don't care if you're going through some shit and you just go to the next door and you're like, hey, Marine man, I need somebody to talk to. Bro, a lot of times they'll be like, oh, come on in, bro. Yo, we're playing Xbox right now. Grab your shit. Like, let's have fun. They're very welcome and very opening, because we're all fucking Marines. Okay. Or you're all Army or whatever branch you decide to go into. It's going to be that bond. And then when you go places and you're in your unit, you have a fuck ton of Marines with you and you're rolling in a pack. It's great. It is absolutely like, it's like being in a fucking gang. You have this massive group of people with you at all times that if shit pops up, you're all fighting together. We had it happen to us, dude. We go to the bar, and there's like 14 of us, and we all get into a fight. And I might hate this fucking jackass that's next to me, but guess what? I'm gonna fight somebody that's messing with them because he's a Marine and he's my boy. That's how that works. You're gonna have that. It's very unique. It is very brotherhood. It is like, people say it's like a cult, bro. It kind of is in that regard, you know, where you're just like really bonded, and you will die for somebody, bro. You don't think you will. You don't think you have it in you. You will, when you forge that bond and you really see what's going on, and that these people would really do that for you. And that's very unique, man. The people that I went to like Afghanistan with are some of my best friends to this day, just because, man, we went through this shit together, bro. We all had to deal with it. You will form those bonds. You will form those relationships. I mean, I even meet people today. Like, I will meet somebody and they might see like a tattoo or something, and they're like, hey man, you're a Marine? I'm like, oh yeah, me too, bro. And we become best friends. And my lady's like, do you know that guy? Who is that? I'm like, never met him a day in my life. She's like, damn, you were talking to him like you've known him for 20 years. kind of feels like I did. Because we just went through this shit together, right? Because we share that same experience of being in the Marine Corps. I do a lot of military stories and military videos. I've had a guy, all he did in one of the comments was say, E-R-R. That's it. That's all he needed to say. And I'm like, oh shit, it's a Marine, bro. I'm like, yo, what's up, buddy? Yo, what's going on, man? I'm all pumped and shit because I just see this little tiny thing, and you're gonna develop that too. It's huge. You can't replace it. Like I said, getting into the pros of finances, you know, like pay, I would say when you're in, it sucks. It's definitely a con. Now, as you're getting out, there are benefits, there are opportunities, and these things that maybe you couldn't afford to do, like go to college, stuff like that. You do have those luxuries, man, and it's earned. And you can look back and be like, yo, I earned my shit. You earned that GI Bill because one, you pay into it. Not everybody just gets a GI Bill, bro. You gotta take like $1,200 out of pocket when you first go in. They'll withhold it to put into the GI Bill so that you can use it when you get out. 99% of the people just go ahead and just do it because even if you don't use the GI Bill, at least it's an option. At least you have that. I never went to college because I was like, damn, I'm too broke and I'm too stupid for college, right? And I didn't. That just wasn't my career path or my choice. So I went into the Marine Corps. Yeah, the pay sucked balls. You know, I lived well below my means for a long time, eating ramen noodles, all that fun shit. But when I got out, I used my GI Bill to go to flight school, and I was able to get my commercial helicopter pilot's license and become a pilot for a bunch of years because I used my GI Bill. I ended up going to college again. I got a something called Voc Rehab, and I'm not going to get into the whole details with this. It sounds like drug stuff. It's not. It's just it's called, I think they call it like VR&E now, which is like Veterans Readiness and Employment. When I went to flight school, after I got all my licenses, I didn't finish getting my degree because there was a bunch of stuff that happened at the school, and the school shut down and they moved, whatever. So they gave me pretty much another GI Bill that let me go back to college. So I went and got my bachelor's in psychology, and then I got my master's in business. And I just finished my master's in business, actually almost a year ago now. The point that I'm trying to make is you're really gonna have these opportunities to do great things when you're in and when you get out. And it's gonna open up a lot of doors, because a lot of times if you go into your employer, you know, and you're sitting down for like a job interview and they see military listed, that gives you a lot of soft skills and a lot of things that are very important to employers. Whatever, I mean, you're getting paid, you know, $1,000 a month when you're in, or whatever the hell it was back then, but the leadership skills that you're developing over time are invaluable, and employers know it. So when they see military, they're like, okay, this guy is, I can put him under pressure and he's gonna be able to think straight. I'm not saying it's across the board, but I'm saying this is like a stereotype of how, or not necessarily, I guess it is a stereotype, but it's a perception based on a general characteristic of you being in the military. They're gonna say, oh, he must be a good leader. Oh, he should be able to follow orders. If I tell him what to do, he'll just do it. Oh, he's gonna show up on time. Oh, he's not gonna complain. He will always be here. And bro, for the most part, that's true, but a lot of employers will take advantage of it because they know I can tell this military motherfucker to show up and do this, and he's gonna do it. People do take advantage of that shit. For the most part, it is a opportunity that is massive. It is really a good career trajectory to like really kind of, or it's like it'll push you in the right direction, okay? Or it'll open up those doors and kind of give you a boost. Along with that, you're not getting paid a ton, but you are developing these skills, whether it's social skills, leadership, especially like the Marine Corps does leadership at the lowest levels. You'll be a really low ranking dude in charge of a bunch of other low ranking dudes, okay? They do leadership at the lowest level. You're gonna learn leadership, how to talk to people, how to deal with people from all walks of life, your communication skills, your critical thinking, ability to handle stress, ability to be uncomfortable. All these different things play a vital role into who you are, and it will really help and develop you. And I think that's really important. A lot of people don't cover those things. They're just like, oh, you know, go in, get your GI Bill, you come out, it's gonna be great. No, man, you're gonna develop shit along the way that goes a lot deeper than just, oh, you have your DD-214? Cool, man, you know, you're hired, whatever. Bro, it's gonna develop a lot of shit. So you can really focus on some of the goods. Now, I'm not saying it's all good. I'm not saying you're gonna come out and you're this badass workhorse and all this shit. I know people that got out and they just gave the fuck up. They're just like, oh, thank God I don't gotta do that shit anymore. And they just went opposite direction. It's not for everybody, but it definitely will help, propel you into these roles. Like I said, I wanted to be a pilot my whole life and I loved helicopters. But when I went in, I didn't have a degree, so I'm not an officer and I'm not flying. Then, I decided when I got out, I wanted to fly still, and boom, there it is. GI Bill, became a pilot. So I got to fly helicopters and live out this childhood dream that I've always had that I didn't think I was smart enough to achieve. I didn't think that I would ever be able to do that. I hold a very low value on myself, and I never looked at myself as being intelligent, smart, or capable. I mean, I still hold those beliefs. I don't really feel super confident in myself, but it definitely helped give me a little bit more confidence to push myself outside of my shell to what I would do. So I'm the epitome of, if I can do this shit, anybody can. I wanted to make this video is to give you guys like a realistic perspective in just military life, man, that a lot of videos don't show you. You're gonna see the goods. People are always showing like, yes, I get to travel, look where I am, I'm all, bro. And then you're gonna see the hardcore bads. We're like, oh, I'm in Afghanistan, this shit sucks, like I wanna get the fuck out of here. Bro, you're gonna see these extremes, but not the realistic part of like, you know, the pros and cons of like back to back, like what you're actually going to experience. Because here's the thing, you're gonna get humbled, treated like shit. You're not gonna feel like a human for a long period of time, and you're gonna have to deal with that. But if you make it through that, they're gonna build you up and help you, you know, make you into who they want you to be. Now, the military is very purposeful. They do this for a reason. Everything that you do in the military has a reason. I don't care how small that reason that you think it is. If they tell you like you're cleaning like in vents and shit with Q-tips and you're doing all this stuff, it's not because they care about the cleanliness of the room. That is a way to help you identify and pay attention to small details. If you're going into a house, you can look for trip wires and other type of explosive devices that may be in it, because you are so thorough with the way that you clean, the way that you do things. You look for things that are out of place. The military does everything for a reason, okay? You may not always know that reason, but they do it for a reason. The person that the reason I'm making this point, I'm gonna bridge back to it. The reason I'm making this point is they are building you into who they want you to be able to fulfill that role. Whatever your job is, whatever it is, they're gonna train you and develop you exactly the way they want you. They want you to be a very quick, critical thinker that can perform under stress and have leadership capabilities. They're gonna develop that, right? But you gotta be prepared to get knocked the fuck down first. You're gonna be destroyed. You're gonna feel horrible, bro. That's the reason. Watch some videos. Watch some videos of like a PFC walking around with the dude always has his head down, looking defeated and shit. He like has his head down and they're like, hey, motherfucker. And he's like, yes, go roll. Like, dude, they're fucking horrified. You know why? Because you have no say. So they've taken every ounce of your individuality. They've stripped it, thrown it out the fucking window. And now they're building you into who they want you to be. But you got to get through that period first. So it is definitely going to build character. It's going to mature the living shit out of you. I went into it, man. I was immature as hell. I still am, but it definitely, you know, gave me a newfound respect for life, the fragility of life. Like when I went to Afghanistan, seeing how quick life can end and kind of appreciating what I do have. Okay. So that to me is huge. So I wanted to make this video for you guys to really give you that perspective. Make your own decision. Don't let other people do that shit for you, bro. If your dad, if your mom, whoever it was military, and let's say they were army and like, you gotta join the army, fuck that, bro. You gotta make that decision for yourself. Don't join and be miserable, okay? Because, oh, my dad was in the army, I had to be, you know, in the army too. Dude, fuck that. Pick a job that you wanna do, that you can see yourself doing and enjoying, and pick the branch that best aligns with that. If you're like, hey man, I wanna be a pilot and I'm gonna go to school and I'm gonna do all this and be an officer, go Air Force and shit, be a pilot, go Navy, be a pilot, whatever has the best programs for that job, go for it, man. Like, dude, the Air Force is great for like technical stuff. If you just wanna get a little bit of like experience of being in the military, doing something that you wanna do that's gonna propel you when you get out, go for it. That's huge. Now, with that said, this is the part of the video where I'm gonna present you guys with the one question that I asked myself that really gave me the go ahead to be like, you know what? I'm joining the Marine Corps and I'm doing it today. Okay, so if you skip to this part, you're gonna have a rough time in the military, bro, because you gotta learn patience. It's just nature of the beast, man. So if you skip to this part, you're gonna have a little bit of a hard time. And it's just because you are gonna stand around and you're gonna wait for hours and hours and hours on end. You gotta deal with it. But getting into it, this is the actual question that I asked myself before I joined. Am I gonna regret going into the military for 4 years and let's say it sucks? I hate it. I made the worst choice ever. If I do that, I'm gonna regret it. But would I regret that worse than not joining and looking back 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now and saying, damn, I wish I joined? Do I want to put up with 4 years of something that I might hate? Or do I want to spend the rest of my life wondering what if? And for me, I couldn't do it. I didn't want to sit there and say, man, I wonder, you know, what would it have been like? Even if you just go and you try. I'm telling you right now, I got mad respect for you guys. Even watching this video, if you made it this far into the video, I got mad fucking respect for you. Just clicking on the video, I got mad respect for you because you're making a decision that is incredibly difficult and you're at least taking those little steps to get there. If you go to boot camp, camp and you don't make it, fuck it, who cares, bro? It just wasn't for you. It's not saying that you're a bad person. It doesn't change who you are. And if you're watching this video and you didn't make it through boot camp or whatever it is and you want to go back, whatever walk of life you're in right now, I got mad respect for you. Period. At the end of the day, I got a ton of respect for you. Whether you go in, do your service, don't do it, I don't care. I got respect for you for actually making those decisions and those steps. Don't let that stop you from going in. If you're like, damn, what if I go in, I fail, people are gonna think I'm a failure, bro. I felt that way too. I was scared shitless, right? Nobody wants to fail, but it doesn't change who you are. And a lot of people haven't even made that step, okay? If your fear of failure is there, it's good to have a healthy fear, but don't let that push you away and say, okay, I don't wanna join because I'm scared of how it's gonna look if I don't make it. It just wasn't for you, right? I'm not a good artist, bro. So if I were to go to some place and start painting and I didn't fucking make it, it doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It just means I can't paint for shit. Okay, go on to the next thing. Don't let that stop you from doing what you want to do. And I think that is a big one for me. Do not let that shit stop you, bro. Period, man. Like I said, if I could do it, you could do it. It's like I'm sweating like making this, man. I'm trying to give you guys something that's valuable for you. If I didn't cover something or maybe I didn't explain it well enough, let me know in those comments section and I'm gonna get back to you guys as soon as I can. I work for you. Don't feel bad about asking questions, bro. There's no such thing as a stupid question. I don't care what it is. I'm gonna answer it respectfully. I'm not one to judge. I got way too many flaws in my life to judge you. I hope you guys find at least something very beneficial in this video and it helps you make that decision on your own, not from me, on your own. You're making that decision. It's a personal one. I hope you guys got the tools for it. And if you enjoyed this video or content like this, bro, hit that subscribe button so we can get this thing moving and maybe I could spread this reach to more people that need it. I love you guys and take care.